Now, don't get me wrong, I would love to have my dreams manifested without any effort at all. Unfortunately, we know that most of the time that's not how it works. For example, if you're trying to manifest winning a lottery, you cannot win unless you actually go and buy that lottery ticket. There has to be some action. Better yet, if it's a meaningful, intentional action for you to achieve that goal or desire. Today, we will actually going to transform our dreams and desires into goals, which makes them more real and achievable. And yes, your goals can be as wild as your dreams. I'm going to share with you one practical tool that always works. In a way, it is easier than a vision board because you can see where you're currently at and where you want to be. Well, without further ado, let me introduce the tool that is called a wheel of life. It is basically very straightforward. So all you have to do is just draw a circle, divide it into 8 sections. There can be more, there can be less, depending on what your life looks like currently. Alternatively, if you do not want to draw, you can print out a template. There is plenty of them on Pinterest. If you do not want to draw or print, so if you're more of a digital girly, there's actually a website that you can use that will help you to do that wheel of life, and it will literally take you a couple of minutes to do that. But what I'm still gonna ask you to do is you have to either take a screenshot if you're using the website, or better yet, I still suggest that you go and print that, or if you're planning to do that on a computer, just make sure that you save that and then you can edit it with some sort of editing tool. For example, like Canva. The only reason why I'm suggesting to actually have like a paper copy, because there is something physical right in front of you and you can literally stick it on your fridge, you can take a copy, you can take a picture, you can have it on your phone, so you have some kind of references to go back to. So the hardest part was doing a wheel of life is actually being honest with yourself when you're going to be rating those areas of your life. So don't overthink it, just do it fast. Whatever number comes into your head, just put that. And then once you have basically the number just connected all around it, and you can see where you're at, and then you can also be a little even more creative. Take a pencil and color each part to where it currently is. Now we basically put on the map where we're currently at, and now we will have to decide where we want to be. Of course, you might want to be at 10 on all those areas. Maybe, for example, career is more important for you right now, so you want it to be 10, but relationship, for example, you want it to be, for example, you're currently at 0 and you want it to be at least like at 8. Write down the ideal number that you want for each area. Put down the number and put it in a circle. Think of this life wheel, something in between of a vision board and a wheel of life. Write down where you want to be within, say, 1 to 5 years within each area of your life. So basically a goal. Of course, our priorities can change, so that's why I'm suggesting only doing it within like 1 to 5 years at the most. Write down how you will know that that goal or that desire or that dream was actually fulfilled. For example, you want to improve your love life. So it could be something like, I am in a loving, healthy, fulfilling relationship with my partner and we're both happy with each other and our relationship, something like that. And as you write it down, actually feel that as if it already manifested, as if it already happened. Imagine how would you feel, imagine where you would be in that moment, imagine little details, but most importantly, imagine how you would feel. That way we're kind of like adding a little bit of magic of manifesting to this whole process. Now that we know where we are and we know where we want to be, we need some sort of a plan, a map of how we actually gonna get there. Each section, so for each area of your life, write down the exact steps or little goals that you're gonna take to achieve that desire, that dream. This actually is a little bit harder than just putting pictures on your vision board, because you actually have to come up with some sort of a plan with some sort of actions. But it is Important to be honest with yourself, and your plan has to be specific. Your plan also needs to have some sort of deadlines or some sort of timing. So for example, if it's something related to your career, you can do something like, by the end of this month I'm gonna have my resume completely updated and revised, something like that. And I want you to actually achieve your goals, which is why what I would recommend you is, so for your first step in your plan, I want you to make sure that this first step is doable for you, achievable, and if possibly free. And I'll explain why later. For example, if it's a weight loss, your first step could be take the measurements. It's easy, it's doable, you can literally do it within 5 minutes after watching this video. You can actually pause it and do it right now if you want. That's gonna be your first step. I know that it's might be like really frustrating at the same time that you actually have to do something, but it will be worth it. Trust me, I did this Wheel of Life and it was a little bit disappointing to see where I was, and it was actually overwhelming to see how many things I needed to do to achieve those things that I wanted. And I was like, how am I ever going to be able to do that? But trust me, please trust me, you will. Keep watching. So I'm going to give you a little example here from my personal life. So when I first moved to Canada, I worked as an office coordinator. I truly loved that job and I was great at it. But I knew that for me to move forward with my life, to move forward with my career, I needed to take some drastic changes and I needed to take some important decisions. Also at the time I was working 3 jobs and I knew that I could not possibly sustain working 3 jobs just to make sure that my bills will get paid. So for that I needed to progress within my career, which meant that I needed to get proper certification. For that I needed to study. And the thought of just studying and passing exams was just like, ew, was just making me ick. Because like I was like, I studied enough in my life, like I'm done with it. But I knew that I had to. I knew that I had to enroll into the course or find like resources was the information that I needed for those studies. So I did it, and I actually had to study on my older laptop, which was extremely slow. And by saying extremely slow, I actually mean it. Like it will take like half an hour for it just to load. And I still had to study while I had my 3 jobs, which was extremely hard. And I honestly didn't think that I would pass that exam. I basically let myself have no other choice but to study and make sure that I passed that exam. I don't know if it was some sort of magic or if I actually, knew what I was doing, but I passed. I got a promotion. I got a raise and it was great. I never regretted that choice. Was it hard? Yes. Did it suck? Oh, you bet it did. But it was doable. I did it. Honestly, I am proud of myself for taking that step. Now that I look back at that, like, little young adult, I'm like, you did it. So I want you to do that. It will be hard, but trust me, it will be worth it. And I'm already proud of you, and you should be too. Now that we wrote a plan, make sure that there is a small step that you can take. So for example, if you want to improve your health, you gotta start with like a checkup so you know what's going on. The first step could be something like Googling the hours of your family doctor to see where you can actually schedule that appointment. It could be something really, really small and tiny, but you have to take that step. I've read somewhere that if you want something and if you take some sort of meaningful action towards that desire, that goal, then first, and I don't remember whether it was like 24, 48 or 72 hours. I think it was probably closer to 72 hours, but as long as you take first step towards that goal, your chances of achieving that goal are much, much higher if you don't take any steps at all. I'm going to share a little example here. So it was actually very interesting how it happened. So I read that quote and I was actually thinking about going on holiday to the beach, and I was like 19 at a time, I think. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna actually test the theory. So I was like, oh, I wanna go to Turkey because it was like cheap, it was affordable, it wasn't really far from Ukraine, and I was like, I'm gonna try it out. So I started looking at different resorts in Turkey, and guess what? Literally, like less than a month later, me and my mama were flying to Turkey, and we had a great time. So that theory actually worked. Yes, there were like a bunch of different steps in between. But once you have that momentum going, there's literally nothing that can stop you. Going back to that plan that we did for each area of your life, make sure that the first step that you're gonna write is gonna be something that you can implement within the first 72 hours, please. That is why I wanted you to have those small steps. So if you need to go back and adjust your plan, just do that. Now there is another thing that will help you with the achievement of your goal. It's called implementation intentions. I actually found an article about it. I'm going to reference it in the description of the video if you want to read more. I'm going to provide an example here. Instead of saying that I'm going to exercise 3 times per week, say that I'm going to exercise on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday when I get home from work for 20 minutes. It is more specific, and it also tells exactly when, where, and for how long. It's actually like, there's kind of like no way around it, because like it's going to be like pressing and pushing on you because you got home, it's Monday, and you're like, like I promised myself that I'm gonna exercise for 20 minutes. Let's sum up this whole video. So first of all, I'm very proud of you because you decided to watch this video. That means that you already took the biggest step ever, that you actually want to try and change something in your life. You're gonna create your will of life. You are going to write your goals and feel them as they already accomplished and achieved as you write them. Then you're gonna make a plan. Then you're going to take a small action for each area that you want to improve within the first 72 hours. And then that's it. You did it. And I'm proud of you. You took and you made the first, biggest, most important step that majority of us are very scared to do, because we're either afraid of failure or we're afraid of actually our desire coming true. But you actually did that first step, so there's literally nothing else that could stop you. I actually would really like to see your wills of life if you are willing to share them. Send me an email or send me a DM on Instagram or tag me in your post or video. I would love to see that. I would love to tell you how amazing you are and how proud you should be for doing that. I truly love connecting with you guys. With that being said, thanks so much for watching this video. I'm truly hoping that you enjoyed it. I would appreciate it if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel. My channel is quite new. I'm doing my best to grow this channel and create a community of like-minded people. I upload new videos every Sunday. Thanks so much for watching, and I'm hoping to see you in my next video. Bye!